Welcome to week 4 of Nano, which it seems like it shouldn't have this many weeks in April, but here we are. It is not Monday, it's Tuesday. I did film a clip on Monday, but I just think Tuesday is a better start. I have more stuff going on, but primarily I look cuter today. I was very messy yesterday, and so we're just gonna start from here. So, hi, I'm Liselle Sambury. I am a traditionally published author, if you didn't know. That's my debut book over there, Blood Like Magic. And yeah, I've been doing Camp NaNo to work on an adult horror project called 6 Days and 5 Nights. It is Ruth Ware's One by One meets Jordan Peele's Us, and I still think those are good comps, even though I've decided that this is a firmly horror book and not a horror thriller book. I still think that works. And now this is my first week of officially working on 2 projects at once, because not only am I doing my Camp NaNo project, I am also working on the sequel to Blood Like Magic, the title of which I am not saying at this time. And so excuse me, I'm working on the sequel of that, and so I've started actually officially doing edits. Originally, the plan was that I was going to work on drafting in the morning, and then in the afternoon I would work on my sequel stuff, unless of course I had a there was a stream going on, like today. There's one at 4 o'clock, so I did my editing in the morning, and then I'll do my drafting later on. But here's how things went on Monday. On Monday, I did my drafting in the morning. That was great. And then I procrastinated for so long to do my edits. And I think because the edits to me are more difficult than the drafting, that it's actually probably better for me to do those in the morning, actually. But anyway, that's something I figured out yesterday. And it was kind of weirdly scary to start working on my sequel. I don't know why. I think I suddenly became overcome, which is probably why I procrastinated so much. But I've gotten into it and I'm like, okay, things are going good. This is going well. I feel very much able to do this in the time limit I've set out, which is 17 days. So that'll bring me to like half of the week after Camp NaNo finishes to be done those edits. So yeah, I've been working on those. That's been going good so far. So far so good. Though my first acts tend to be my cleanest ones, so that makes a difference. Other than that, today I also had my marketing meeting with my Canadian team, which was really, really great, really, really positive. I think getting into publishing something that traditional publishing, I've come to understand and appreciate is the really huge team effort of all the people that end up working on your book and helping out with it. And that's just been such a huge thing. I was really excited for all the stuff they had talked about, like planning in the future and that sort of thing, and like how excited they are for the book. So that was really, really positive. I'm very happy about that. There will be fun things to come in the future. And what I like also is like not necessarily everything is right before launch. There's lots of stuff that's going to be happening after launch, which I think will be really good, because what I've heard from some other traditionally published authors is that they're like, yeah, and then your book launches and then everybody forgets about you and you'll get a little bit sad. And I have heard from a lot of like debut authors that it's like this big, like you get to the top of the roller coaster and you have your launch, and then it's like because it's just like you've been building up to it for so long that it becomes this like huge emotional release of energy, and you're kind of like, oh, it's like done. And so for me, knowing that I have stuff that's going to be happening in the months following, that's really positive for me, because I think that'll make me feel like I haven't suddenly been forgotten about, because I'll know that I'm having more things to do after the fact. And I'm actually really looking forward to doing things after the book is out, because then people would have had a chance to read it and I'll get to talk more about specific things. And so I think that'll be exciting. I'm feeling very uplifted, very supportive, very supported, and very positive about all my book stuff. So yeah, really excited about all that is to come, excuse me, as we get closer to the Blood Like Magic release. But yeah, it is week for now. I'm very focused on my projects, on getting these edits done and getting this book drafted. And yeah, that's gonna be, I think, probably my last like book writing things that I'm gonna be doing before release month comes up. So yeah, we're diving right into week 4 of Camp NaNo.
Melody, I just need to find my way. So when I fall behind, just give me one more day to regret the word I could never say. I'm drowning with the past, ocean of yesterday. Stuck in the night with no end, but I'll be alright. Come on in, don't take me now. I'm so damn close to learning how. I need your ghost.
It's me standing up, which I feel like I never do. I never stand anywhere for a video. Yeah, today lots of stuff was happening, or it feels like lots of stuff. I feel like whenever I say lots of stuff was happening, it wasn't actually that many things. It just felt like a lot of things because I'm just like that. But yeah, so this morning I washed my hair. I'm trying a new protective style because I've done too many wash and goes lately and my hair gets so tangled and it's a mess for me to comb out, and so I'm like braiding it or twisting it back a little bit to keep it more contained and to protect my hair because I want it to grow. So I did that this morning, and then what did I do next? Oh, right. So this is the other thing. So then I did editing for the Blood Like Magic sequel, which I'm really happy about. The chapters as I've been reading through, I'm like, yeah, I was like, I do like this. This is good. This does have really good moments. And what I'm finding so far, though I know it's in the beginning, which is a little bit different, but I'm not having to edit as much as I thought I would. So these few chapters are really, really like just read throughs essentially, with like some tweaks here and there. So that's been really good. It's like less intimidating to come to the edits that way. I also filmed a video for a thing that I don't know if I can talk about, but I'll post about it when it happens. But that's why I'm like wearing makeup and stuff. That's also why I washed my hair today, so I could film that. So that was done. I'm very happy with that. That took many, many takes for me to get it right, but I did it. And then I also filmed a podcast episode basically right after, so that was really good as well. It's funny because the podcast host was like, I always tell everybody like, you've done a great job and you'll have done better than you think you do, because he was like, at the end people always apologize and he's like, you don't need to apologize. So I reminded myself at the end, because I always feel like I get a little bit nervous and then I get a little bit breathy. I talked about this before. Speaking of when I talked about this before, I talked about it because I was talking about a panel that I was on, and now I can reveal what the panel was. It was a panel for TLA, so for the Texas Library Association. That came through my publisher. They were like, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And I was like, sure. And I didn't really know who was going to be on the panel. And then the panel opened up and I was like, oh, so many people that I know, like JL, who wrote Wings of Ebony, Nafisa Azad, Rachel, who has written The Nature of Witches, Zoraida Cordova, like all sorts of like 7 authors on the panel. But yeah, so that's just for the Texas Library Association, so it's on like their private event. But what had like made me freak out with the panel was because I didn't know who was on there, opened it, and my head was right next to Leigh Bardugo's head, and I was like, and then I had to tell myself to calm down, because if you didn't know, Leigh Bardugo is like one of my favorite authors, and in the frame I had Ninth House, and Ninth House in the frame, and it was just like, I was like, and then I had to calm myself and like be a professional. But yeah, it was like a big freak out moment. And it's like hard. It's hard because you're an author now, or like a soon to be author, and like now everybody's your colleague, but it's difficult when you have like read books by people like Zoraida Cordova's books, like Labyrinth Lost was a comp for Blood Like Magic, and so it's kind of wild to just pop up next to them and you're all in an event together. Yeah, so it was a wild ride. But yeah, that was another event where I like felt very breathy because I was nervous, but I think I am getting a little bit better about remembering to like calm down and like take a breath and breathe more evenly. So I think I'm getting better at that. It's a learning experience as part of the debut experience. And also I feel like knowing that I'm a debut, maybe like people that watch or listen to the stuff feel like more kind to me because they're like, okay, it's her first time doing this stuff. Or I hope so anyway. Now on to the reason why I was standing over here in the first place when I like never stand. Though this is honestly like a very nice angle, so maybe I'll start doing this in more updates. But anyway, I need to take everything off my bookshelf. My bookshelf, this black one, is all sorts of dusty. It's dusty, and I tried to like dust around stuff and it was extremely ineffective. So I just need to take everything off of the shelves and like dust it and then put stuff back, which is fine because I want to kind of rearrange some of the books anyway. Like I think I'm still going to keep this one shelf like as my TBR shelf, but like the other shelves, like I want to move around where the Junji Ito stuff is. I think I just want that to be on its own spot. And then like, yeah, I need to dust it and I need to fix stuff. And because I already had to take books off of the shelf and rearrange things when I was doing that video I had to record, I'm like, I've already started, I just need to do it now or I'm never gonna do it. So I'm gonna do it.
Melody, I just need to stay away, but you're obsessed with time, no clue what's at stake. In the final round of a lifelong game, so I step out of bounds. I don't want things to change. Stuck in the night with no...
Okay, so first thing, that didn't take as long as I thought, so that's good. Second thing, I know this will not be sustainable because I already have like too many books facing out and it's already like creating too much, but like this is good for now. Hello, so it is Sunday, so the last day of week 4 of Camp NaNo, and I will catch you up on everything I've been doing since the last update. So it was Shadow and Bone Day, so I watched the entirety of the Shadow and Bone series. It was really good. I really loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I will say to pay attention also to what some Asian reviewers and watchers are saying. They have really valid criticisms, and I think if you're an Asian watcher, there may be some triggers that you also want to check out for. Alina, who is half Shu in the show, and also Inej, who is Suli, they both deal with outright racism and discrimination. Alina a lot more than Inej, so I would pay attention to that and watch out for that if you're planning to tune in, just so you're prepared for all of that, and also to listen to what people who are in the groups affected are talking about when they're talking about valid criticisms. So yeah, but yeah, super loved it. Would definitely rewatch it several times, and that was Shadow and Bone Day. That day I woke up at like 9:30 and I basically just did all of my work in the morning and then immediately watched all day. And then that was like Friday, and Saturday I drafted. So Cache had a live stream, so I did Camp NaNo drafting for that, and then I did not do any editing because I just got tired. Yeah, that's really it. And because I know that I only need 17 days because I'm doing that combination read through and edit thing, so I only need 17 days to do the edits, but I have 4 weeks of time, so like roughly 30 days to do that, or really 28 days. And so because of that, I just kind of extended the time that I'm gonna spend editing from 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks, and that way I have like a couple extra days in case there are days like yesterday where I feel really tired, and so then I can take the day off because I have more time. And then today I did the opposite. So I edited my 2 chapters for Blood Like Magic. There were 2 like 4,500 word chapters, so they were pretty big, and then I went to do my edits, but then I was like, I remain tired. And the great thing about my Camp NaNo edits at this point is that I have passed the 40,000 word mark, and I actually only have 4 chapters left to do, and each chapter is 1,500 words, so it's actually gonna be shorter than 50,000 words. So my plan is to just do a chapter each day and then I'll be done. So then I decided not to work on it today because next week I have 5 days until the 30th. So if I do 1 chapter each day, I'll still technically finish early. So I decided to take a day off of drafting. So yeah, that's how things are going. Everything's going well. It's kind of nice because I thought it would be super overwhelming to work on 2 projects at once, and it is not overwhelming. It's just I have less time for other things, but I'm still able to get all the work done. But now that I'm getting like down to the wire with Camp NaNo, I have more flexibility like that, and then because of me combining my read through into my edits for the sequel edits, I also have more flexible time with that as well, and so I'm actually more able to take breaks now, which is super nice. So yeah, that's kind of how the week wrapped up. Next week is the last week of Camp NaNo, and I'm feeling pretty confident that I will win unless something strange happens between now and then. And then I'll just be working on edits, which will be nice because I really do prefer to just work on one project at once. But it's also been good with this week in realizing that I can do both at once quite comfortably, because I feel like if I continue on with all of my plans for being an author and how many projects I want to have on the go, I'm going to have a lot of times where I need to work on more than one project at once. So it's good to know that I can like very comfortably work on 2 at once. I think 3 at once would be a bit much, but 2 at once is very doable. Yeah, that's basically it. I haven't been reading that much. That's the thing about the working on 2 projects, is that I'm not reading as much because I don't have as much brain space to also be reading. But otherwise, things are going swimmingly. Feeling positive about going into the last week of Camp NaNo. So how was your 4th week of Camp NaNo? Comment below with how that went for you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!
But I'll be alright. Come on in. Don't take me now. I'm so